What is up, everybody? Wednesday night here in Las Vegas. Thomas and Mack Center. It's empty now, but it was crazy just a little bit ago as we had all kinds of action going on. Men's and women's Mountain West tournaments. Get you all the details of what went on here, also over at T-Mobile and the Orleans Arena. Vegas Madness tonight in full effect. There's 3 tournaments going on. 5 if you count the women's sides as well. It is craziness. That's why it is Vegas Madness, and we have it all for you. If you missed anything, we'll get you up to date right now, and you can always check out what's going on the website at reviewjournal.com. Follow the hashtag Vegas Madness all over social media, and you can keep track of all the action up there. But we will get you updated, and it is a bad day for UNLV basketball, both on the men's and the women's side. We start with the men. A 21-point lead in the second half. It evaporated quickly, and San Diego State survived in overtime. They advance. UNLV, kind of a microcosm of the whole season, as they could not make a shot in the second half, went through a long scoring drought. But we'll get all the gory details from our Ed Graney and Mark Anderson, who are on the scene.
It's Ed Graney and Mark Anderson live at the Mountain West Conference Tournament. UNLV's basketball season has just ended. Mark, they might have saved their worst for last. Up 21 in the second half. They lose to San Diego State in the 6-11 game, 62-52 in overtime. A really bad ending to, let's be honest, 11-21, a bad season.
Yeah, they had the game won. They were playing great defense. San Diego State had shot, I think, 12% or 14% in the first half. They looked like they had no signs of life. That's the amazing thing, is they just looked done. And somehow they found some life. And once this momentum switched, then UNLV was on its heels. And you could just feel, I know Marvin Minzy said that he didn't feel like they were playing not to lose, but I just kind of had that sense the second half as the league got away that they were kind of in that mode. They were trying to find a way to hang on, and they couldn't do it.
It was a microcosm of the season. They just weren't good enough in most areas, and when they lost Maureen and he fouled out, they're just so limited offensively. You said before the game, look, at some point they're going through a 6 to 8 minute stretch where they don't score. That's happened again. San Diego State got a 3 from Kell, started the pressure, put the pressure up, came back, and, that's that. The season is over. I will say this, I think you agree. I think Mark and I have been pretty consistent that this first year was not on Marvin Menzies. It was on administration, who fired Dave Rice too early and botched the coaching search. From this second forward, I think you'd agree. Now it's on Marvin Menzies and his staff to recruit and to get better.
Yes, I mean, he doesn't have to go to the tournament next season or anything like that, but he needs to show some improvement. And he said tonight, that they will be better, and I think they will be. He's already bringing in players who should be playing over guys he has on his current roster. The schedule won't be quite as difficult, so they should pick up a handful of wins that way. So there's a reason why they shouldn't improve on this record over next season.
Follow Mark Anderson at reviewjournal.com in the coming weeks. There's no question there'll be some changes on this team, maybe major ones. Some guys are leaving. We know some new guys are coming in. What that means next year, whether it means 11th to 6th place, 11th to 5th, we don't know. But there must be improvement next year. They can't have another season like this. Live from the Mountain West Conference Tournament, it's Ed Graney and Mark Anderson.
Thanks, guys. That wasn't the only stunner in first-round action on Wednesday, however. Air Force scored the first 25 points of the game. It was 25-0. They led Wyoming before the Cowboys could get on the board. Air Force held on for an 83-68 win. They cruised to that victory. A little bit of a shocking score, especially the 25-0. I think all over social media people were reacting to what was going on here in Vegas with that one. That was truly some Vegas madness. So an 83-68 win for Air Force. Utah State had a big second half to pull away from San Jose State, 90-64. That sets up quarterfinal Thursday here at the Thomas & Mack. No UNLV, I think, for a lot of the day. People thought UNLV would be involved. They are not. But UNR, Utah State, kicks things off at noon. Fresno State and New Mexico play at 2:30. Colorado State and Air Force at 6. And Boise and San Diego State meet in the nightcap at 8:30. We mentioned wasn't just heartbreak for the men. It was tough for the women tonight as well. UNLV Lady Rebels in action. They were set up well to have a trip to the finals, but it was not meant to be. UNLV is now 1-7 in the semifinals because they were unable to get the win over Fresno State. 53-51 they go down to defeat. They had a couple of shots late, could not get one to fall. It was that kind of night for UNLV. Just couldn't make a bucket, especially the post players really struggled to find any kind of rhythm as the Fresno State zone shut them down. UNLV shot just over 30% from the field, had 2 shots in the final 10 seconds, could not get one to go. and they had beaten Fresno State by 16 just a week ago here in Las Vegas. So really difficult loss, especially considering the fact that Boise State had beaten Colorado State earlier in the night. That would have set up a nice road to the finals for a team that UNLV had already beaten during the regular season. But again, just not meant to be for UNLV Lady Rebels. And we'll hear from one of the defeated players right now.
I think that tournament time is just a different time. So it's kind of like everybody comes and plays at a completely different level. When you come into any game, you really have to act like you haven't played that team before, just because it's a completely different mindset. Everybody's coming to try to take things to another level, and that's exactly what Fresno did. And we came and we tried to play our best basketball too. And it's not like they came in and blew us out. We respect their program very much. It's tough to lose, especially in a really close game like that. But yeah, it's just a different feel, different vibe in the tournament.
Really hear the dejection in Dylan Gonzalez's voice as the UNLV season comes to an end. I think that they thought they had a really good chance to make a run and win this Mountain West championship, but instead we'll have 4th-seeded Fresno State and 7th-seeded Boise State playing for the title on Friday morning. The women get a day off for men's quarterfinal day tomorrow, and that should be a good game on Friday here at the Thomas & Mack. Lots of good action around town. As we mentioned, though, the Pac-12 tournament got underway. Just the men are in town. The women had their tournament elsewhere. I think that was up in Seattle last week. Men's first-round action in the Pac-12 got underway. T-Mobile, the shiny new building for that tournament. They used to play at the MGM. They moved across the street, much larger venue, a lot of flashy, scoreboards and all that around the arena to get used to. It was a great day of action over there. We were there this morning. And in that first game this morning, Arizona State got off to a great start in the tournament. They won in dramatic fashion, finishing it off in overtime with a great victory over Stanford. Bobby Hurley, a guy Las Vegas fans are all too familiar with from back in his days in college at Duke. And he was impressed with his team's victory, especially because it was pretty much all on the backs of the starters. And they're going to have a big effort again tomorrow if they want to have any chance against Oregon in the quarterfinals.
We have complete respect for them, and we'll just try and get our edge back, try and recover, get our guys rested, and get ready for tomorrow, and see if we could have our starters score 96 out of 98 again tomorrow. You guys sign on for that? I'd be happy if you guys could do that again. It'd be great.
Tough task ahead for Bobby Hurley's Devils, but if anybody could do it, he can, and we will see if they can take down the top-seeded Ducks tomorrow. That is noon. That is the first of the quarterfinal games in the Pac-12 men's tournament. Utah will play Cal, who is a 67-62 winner over Oregon State tonight. That was over at T-Mobile Arena. A good one for Cal. They move on to play Utah. Colorado rallied to beat Washington State. Didn't think they'd be behind that much in that game. They were down big. Rally for the 73-63 win. And they will play Arizona at 6 p.m. on Thursday. USC set up a crosstown showdown with UCLA by beating Washington in the late game. Washington led for much of the way, especially in the first half, but they faded late. A tough season for the Huskies, and they are out. USC plays UCLA. I think there'll probably be a lot of people driving up from Los Angeles for that game to check that out tomorrow over at T-Mobile Arena. Should be a fun one. WAC tournament got underway as well. Women's action over there. The men's tournament gets started tomorrow. But in the WAC tournament at the Orleans Arena, women's quarterfinal action kicked off on Wednesday. Missouri, Kansas City knocked off Texas Rio Grande Valley. Not many people knew they were even in Division I, but they are. And that was 77-69. That sets up a showdown with top-seeded New Mexico State, which had a bye in the first round. Seattle and Utah Valley. The other Wednesday winners will meet in Friday's other semifinal. Men's action starts tomorrow. That is Thursday, quarterfinal action. Seattle and Utah Valley kick things off at 2. That's at noon. We've also got New Mexico State and Chicago State at 2:30. And Missouri, Kansas City against Texas Rio Grande Valley. That's at the late game. That is after the completion of that second quarterfinal. Bakersfield, they had the bye, and they will move on in that tournament. So we'll check them out on Friday when they get to the semifinals over there at the Orleans. But tons of basketball going on. If you missed anything, just find it somewhere on this website. Trust me, it is all covered. We've got reporters all over the place. The hashtag Vegas Madness is in full effect. Vegas Madness tonight, each and every night, we'll bring you all the details and recap what went on throughout the day in all of these tournaments. And all throughout the day, there's videos, photos, everything that you need to know about what is going on in Las Vegas for all these tournaments. So check it out, and we will be with you again tomorrow night. Vegas Madness tonight. Thank you, guys. Talk to you later.